Welcome to the Friday Food Show, where I give you stories about food and farming and hopefully a few exposés and a bit of information so we can make sure that we're supporting our local farms and not getting the mickey taken out of us by supermarkets.
So I have a question for you. Nobody ever stands up for just how good indoor British pork is. Now, we have a great sector of free-range pigs. We have loads of brilliant free-range pig producers in this country. But today I'm going to sideline them and I'm going to talk about why our indoor industry deserves more recognition. British pork is only a touch more expensive than imported pork. You might go into a supermarket and not even know what you're picking up, but quite often, especially in processed products, it will be the imported kind. You'd think farmers would be shouting about British indoor bred pork being a high quality product. And you think supermarkets would be shouting about it even more? But here's the brutal truth. You guessed it, supermarkets make a lot more money from the imported pork. So it's not worth them shouting about just why British pork is so fantastic. It's not complicated. It's just really awkward for the companies that are making tons off the imports. If the truth about comparing British indoor pork to the foreign imported indoor pork, the sector would get transformed overnight. And that is what I'm hoping with this video. So let me explain. Walk into any supermarket. British indoor reared pork. Red Tractor, Union Jack, look for those things. Maybe £3.50, £4 for a pack of sausages. I haven't got the exact amount. Or more for a decent joint of meat. Next to it, imported pork. From Europe, say. A tad cheaper, perhaps. Most people assume the imported is slightly cheaper, and yet maybe the welfare is not quite the same. But that's where you'd be wrong. The imports are very different. British indoor pork banned all the bad stuff years ago, quarter of a century ago. Things that are still going on outside of this country. Sows in stalls for long periods of time are banned in this country. It's not allowed in the UK. Farrowing crates are still used in some cases, but the time is absolutely limited, and it's only because of the welfare. Sow crates help it so that the sow can receive treatments, any help if necessary. Piglets can be accessed for health reasons and such like. It's purely a welfare thing. These are still routine in the EU and further afield, where they can stay in them for long periods of time. And in fact, another massive plus point for British pork. Every pig in Britain, indoor or outdoor, must have access to enrichment. Now, what is enrichment? By law in the UK, they must have straw or toys, things to promote their natural behaviours, indoor or outdoor. So this still exists in the indoor. Things to root around and play with, so pigs can act naturally and enjoy themselves. Practices like tail docking, where you'd have to snip the ends of the pig's tails, are pretty much gone in the UK. Most of the time it will be done for their own welfare or if the vet says so. It's not something that's done as a standard procedure anymore. Space standards and flooring regulations are better and more spacious in the UK. On a British farm, you'll see the pigs, it'll be warm, cosy, straw, toys. It'll feel like a lovely pig farm. Even when there's times the pigs are on slatted units, which means that's where the muck can fall through the floor. They're immaculately clean, well looked after, and they never get to be too long in their own dirt. It means they're clean and healthy. Meanwhile, a huge amount of the pork that comes into this country is not reared this way. Farms where sow stalls or crates are just routine and they're in them for much, much longer. Enrichment isn't law, so a lot of farms just don't bother. So no straw, no nice floors, no toys. The welfare standards are just nothing like UK pork. So for a touch more money than imported pork, you can have the highest standard pork on the planet for a fraction more. It's not like it's double. Remember, imported pork comes with standards banned in this country decades ago. We would not be allowed to make it here by law in that fashion. Yet no one talks about it. Why does nobody talk about it? Because it's inconvenient. Supermarkets make a killing off cheap pork. Low cost, decent margin. Most shoppers don't ask questions. Yet 50% of the pork eaten in this country is British indoor pork, and we don't know enough about it. So this video is hopefully changing that.
Sorry about the camera angle change. My camera died, so I'm on a different device. So the inconvenient truth is that if everybody realised the standard difference and quality, supermarkets wouldn't be able to make their killing off of farms. And that is fundamentally what's happening. They're able to bring pork in cheap, sell it for just a bit less than British pork, not shout about the standards of British pork, so they can make an absolute killing off of both. People become wise to the fact imported pork isn't a little bit worse, it's significantly worse. What makes this stand out more than anything to me is we banned this for a reason, yet we're still comfortable with shipping tons of it in and lining the pockets of huge corporations, taking it from the consumer and taking it from the farmer. But we don't have to play that game. We can buy red tractor pork. We can look for that Union Jack, turn the pack over, make sure we're not getting duped, we know about that, and make sure we're buying that high welfare British pork. Buy free range if you can. We all love the fact that animals can live outside, but some of us are on a tight budget, but we can all afford to use the British standard pork instead. It's a brilliantly affordable product. Here's another reason I'm including this in tonight's food show. It's something close to me. Radmore Farm wouldn't be here if it wasn't for pigs. Our modern story begins with pigs. And years before I even came to the farm, and even years before my wife was born onto this farm, it was a big pig farm. And we were a commercial indoor pig farm, not quite the same as we are now with a mixture of two and whatever. Pigs are something very close to my heart. We don't supply supermarkets. A lot of farmers do. Pig farmers, especially indoor pig farmers, are scared. Scared of exposés, scared of activists, scared of that exposure and getting dropped by a supermarket. If a farmer wants to promote their fantastic British indoor pork, they can't. They feel like they daren't because it brings the focus onto them and could bring unwelcome press, because there are people out there trying to catch out farmers in the wrong way to make indoor farming look bad. And actually 50% of pork eaten in this country is being hidden, and it shouldn't be, because these farmers are proud of what they do, working 7 days a week to feed the public with books this thick of paperwork, making sure the animals have enrichment, and they're scared to shout about it. So Ben from Radmore Farm is going to do it for them. Support British pork. It's so important. Supermarkets don't care about promoting it, so it's up to us to do that job for the farms. Because if we're not careful, we'll have no farms and we'll have no food. It's quite simple. I'd love to hear if you agree with me in the comments. Please tell me so, and share the video around with your friends. Chat pork. It's cool. Everyone loves pork. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe button. And if you also want to join Team Radmore against all the corporations, making sure we save money and support farming, join my memberships. You won't regret it. I chat with all the time. I do private videos. Not that kind, sorry. I mean, I'm a bit too old for that now. And, you know, I would love to see you there. So I really appreciate it. All the links are in the description. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your food.